Hi, my name is Lauren. I want to try a different style of video. Um, Talking about the Mandela effect. This is definitely not an easy topic to talk about, but I know without a shadow of a doubt, this is my sole purpose. This is my calling to talk about this. But if there's anybody here who has been experiencing the Mandela effect also, you know, because you've probably experienced it, that first you get some odd looks for believing in something that other people don't perhaps see in the first place. So the first obstacle in me talking about this is okay, so people think I'm crazy. My parents, my husband, some of my immediate friends, that was their reaction, was oh my God, Lauren has lost her mind. She's been through enough medical issues. She's completely checked out and lost her mind now. Well, I haven't lost my mind. I know without a shadow of a doubt, well, maybe I have lost my mind in some ways. I don't know. Maybe I'm now more in my heart than in my mind. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is my calling. This is my purpose to talk about this. I'm not a perfect person. I'm super imperfect of a person, but all my life, God and I have been like this. And I'm not kidding when I tell you God has performed miracle after miracle after miracle in my life. So many health issues, close calls. You guys would never believe all of the coincidences and things that I've been through in my life, that my family has been through, but more specifically, to me, what I went through leading up to my awakening into the Mandela effect. So the Mandela effect, if anybody here is watching this video and you experienced it, you might have felt or even still feel the way that I felt, which was terrified. I felt terrified because it didn't make sense to my rational brain. And I am a thinker. I am a thinker, you guys. I even hate making a video like this because I'm just talking, and I don't just talk. If anybody, my friends, colleagues, work colleagues, whatever, they know me. I overanalyze everything. I'm super left-brained, and this whole experience is a function of the right side of my brain, and was difficult for me to perceive of at first. But I knew without a doubt that God was with me the whole time. So my faith in God overpowered my fear of what in the hell was going on, because it's certainly scary to your rational mind for things not to exactly make sense anymore from a physical standpoint. And then I also understand what it's like from a spiritual standpoint for things to not make sense anymore. I understand it from a Christian perspective, how scary it is. I probably understand that probably better than anyone, just because I've never met anyone who has as many ministers in their family as what I have. My dad is an Episcopal priest. Both of my grandparents on my mom's side are pastors. I have missionaries, some Pentecostal, Assembly of God, Foursquare, non-denominational, Baptist roots. I just have minister after pastor after priest after everything in my family. And what was just so funny to me growing up is they would all bicker with each other about whose denomination really had the truth. And that's a whole different story. But anyway, the bottom line is I always definitely believed in God. I definitely believed in Jesus and love, and grew up on the Bible. Every conversation in my house since I was itty bitty was about God and was about theology and debates about theology. So that's been my whole identity, not just a preacher's kid, but a preacher's grandkid, cousin, everything. Like, that's what's been in my brain. That's like who I am. And when I was shown something different, particularly, it makes me nervous even to talk about it, but particularly like the lion, Isaiah 11:6, as the wolf, it was really, 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 really scary to me at first. I didn't know how to process it, but then something clicked in my brain, like, my God was telling me there's no way that I brought you here just to abandon you, just to forsake you. I'm here, I'm with you, and I trust God. And I trust God because God has brought me through so many, 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 many difficult things. I'm alive, and I shouldn't be. I've had, anyway. But I have had to rethink how I perceive of God just a little bit. And I guess that wasn't necessarily so hard to do because I come from a family of so many different ministers who sort of like argued with each other all the time anyway about who is God and what is Christianity and what is the meaning of this, that, and the other. So I've been thinking about those things since I was a very little girl. Anyhow, I guess I had some practice. But it bothered me so much to hear people arguing about the Bible and about what Jesus really meant and dogma that I just couldn't handle it. I was like the first person in my family not to go to Bible college, first person in my family not to marry or be a pastor, and I got a lot of grief from my family for like not becoming a pastor myself. What I did instead was I majored in Spanish and in psychology and then in education, got certified to become a teacher. I taught AP Spanish and then got a master's degree in counseling, and I really liked to work with like underprivileged kids. That was my passion for so much of my life, was like helping people in that regard, and I really felt I made a difference in the world doing that. My family, sorry family, I don't mean to make you look bad if you're watching this video, but there were quite a few people in my family who were like, but Lauren, what are you really going to do for Jesus? And I felt like I'm working with homeless kids and pregnant teenagers and making such a difference in their lives, and pregnant teenagers who had babies. I'm making a difference in the lives of these babies every day. How is that not serving God? So I was kind of the black sheep of my family, marching to the beat of my own drum, doing my own thing, not involved in the ministry because I was just tired of the fighting. But I still believed in God. I just didn't want to hear anybody like fight about it anymore. So I just sought God sort of like in my own way. And again, I'm not a perfect person, but there was always like a question in my mind, like, what would Jesus honestly think about all this? What would Jesus honestly think about these different like denominations arguing with each other about who knows the truth? And I also wondered a lot, what would Jesus really think about some of these Christians who are so hateful to other groups? I'll say it now, like to other races, to other sexual orientations, to all kind of things. Like, if Jesus were here right now, what do you think Jesus would honestly think? Well, I always thought honestly Jesus would be disgusted with it. Again, Jesus is love, so he would love people, but that would not be his flow. He would not be a hateful person. Anyways, I've always just kind of like thought about those things, but went about my business and lived my life a lot differently than, other people in my family. Also, like I said, I majored in Spanish. I studied abroad, learned Spanish. I speak Spanish pretty fluently. It might be a little rusty now because I'm not speaking it all the time, but I am bilingual, and in my brain I'm able to translate things and process things, and maybe some of those skills were helpful in my awakening to the Mandela effect also, because I can take everything that I'm seeing, everything that my spirit is sort of teaching me, and I can just look at it in a different way. The same way that I like speak English, but then learn to speak Spanish. Like, like, I don't know. Tenemos esta sala. We have this living room. I don't say it exactly the same in English as I do in Spanish, but like I can conceptualize things in both languages, and that's sort of how I feel. That's sort of how I feel with the Mandela effect. Like, my native language is Christianity, and my native language is English, but I'm able to learn other languages. I was able to learn Spanish, and now I'm able to learn a different kind of spirituality through the Mandela effect. And it's still the same. The essence is still the same. I'm just able to change my perception just a little bit and conceptualize it a little bit differently through a new language. So I feel like God can be like science, math, Christianity, and not just that, but like God is everything. Jesus, like 2,000 years ago, Jesus wasn't just about the Jews. Jesus was about everybody, because God is about everybody. God is not just about Christians. God is about everybody. So this Mandela effect is affecting everybody. And it's not, I mean, okay, I'm going to be honest. Like, my husband was like, what is going on with you, Lauren? Because I freaked out, and I was making him like pray the sinner's prayer over and over again, because that's what I had been programmed to like think, to believe that like he was gonna go to hell if he didn't believe that exact prayer or pray that exact prayer. And my spirit quickly showed me, like, relax. This isn't just about Christians, and if somebody doesn't believe in God and speak exactly the same language, it's okay. God can reveal, I don't even want to use like a gender pronoun right now. God can be revealed in multiple ways to multiple cultures, religions, perspectives, because again, it's not just Christians experiencing this. It's everybody experiencing this. Jews are experiencing this. Muslims are experiencing this. Women who celebrate the divine feminine are experiencing this. Atheists are experiencing this. So we have to kind of put our heads together and think, what does this mean? And to me, it means that God, whatever that is, exactly, God was made manifest through Jesus, but God can be made manifest in a lot of different ways. And I think God is being made manifest through the Mandela effect. I think God is being made manifest through you. I think God is being made manifest through me. I still believe what Jesus came here and taught. I believe that he called us brothers and sisters because we are brothers and sisters. I believe he told us we will do these and greater things because he meant it. He wanted us to do the same things that he did and greater things. He called God the Father because he was talking about the Spirit higher than him. But he said that Spirit lives within us. And he told us the kingdom of God is within us. And somehow, I'm not sure, I mean, I'm going to piss everybody off, but I'm going to speak my mind here. I'm going to say what I think. I mean, some things might have gotten lost just a little bit in translation from what Jesus was trying to say. Christianity is a wonderful, beautiful religion. My whole family makes their livelihood with Christianity. Countries and politics and all kind of things are centered upon this religion, but some of it might not, what Jesus really meant might have been a little different than what we understood. And my for sure opinion is that this Mandela effect is caused by God, and it's sort of like a restoration of the truth to who we really are. I just know that. Like, if you had been through as much crap and health stuff as I have been through, and like you like depended your life on God constantly and had miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle the way I did, you would know and you would be confident. And not saying that you're not confident now. I don't know what everybody's situation is, but I'm just saying, like, that's why I'm so sure that this is God. I'm just sure that this is God. And it's hard for me talking about this because, yes, like, people's first reaction, if you're believing in something that they can't see or perceive of, they think you're crazy. That's number one. And then the second obstacle that I have that's challenging for me is I'm a woman. I wrestled, I struggled with God about this. Like, I didn't want to talk about this because I'm a woman. And I felt God speaking directly to my heart, and that's exactly why I'm asking you to do it, because you are a woman. And those are different conversations to be had at some point, but I'm just saying, it's hard for me to talk about this. One, I'm crazy. Two, I'm a woman. And when I'm a woman and I make a video, then I have some people, like, calling me a witch and, like, whatever. What is a witch? Seriously? It's 2019 and I'm being called a witch. It's ridiculous. And it makes me so sad for every woman who was called a witch, killed historically. I don't know. That, and then, like, the third thing that's difficult for me in talking about this is I don't know why, like, a lot of people who see the Mandela effect, they like, do they want this to be Satan? They think it's like the devil doing this. It's not Satan. I know it's not Satan. And that's a whole nother conversation. What is Satan? I don't know. I think of God in different terms now anyway. But all I can say for sure is that I know within me that this is good and this is a good thing and this is a good movement and I have a good attitude about it. And I'm gonna have a smile on my face when I talk about it. Usually, right now I'm not exactly smiling, but normally I'm gonna have a smile on my face when I talk about it because I think it's a good thing, and I am positive and I am optimistic and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen in the future. And to anybody who wants to think of this as a bad thing and wants to get in on my videos and give me rude comments, call me a witch, or like not like it that I have like a positive attitude about it, I'm sorry about whatever you're going through in your life right now that makes you like that, but I'm not going to lose who I am or lose my perspective, and I'm going to keep talking about it, and I'm going to keep saying what I think all of this really means. And I'll say it again and again and again, even though it would be easier for me just to be quiet because it's hard hearing like people be mean to me. I don't like that. Who does? But I'm just gonna keep speaking my truth. So anyway, eventually I hope what I say starts to sink into some people's heads, and I hope that it might be helpful. And if not, you're free not to listen to my videos. But anyway, if this helps anybody, then it makes it worth it for me. I've been through a lot, and I hope I can use everything that I've been through to help make a difference at this point in time right now. And if you're experiencing this with me, no matter what your attitude is, thank you for experiencing it with me. I'm sorry if it's caused you any pain. I know that it can be painful. But I'm so hopeful for what this can mean for all of us in the future. And just, again, thank you. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.